Did you know if you grow tomatoes indoors, you can keep the plant producing a lot longer than when you grow them outdoors? That's been the case for me as someone who lives in an area that only gets about 3 months of warm enough weather, but I currently have two indoor mini tomato plants that are 8 months old and still producing flowers and more tomatoes. So let's add to my collection and grow cherry false tomatoes from seed. Plant the seeds about 1/8 of an inch deep and keep the growing medium consistently moist throughout the germination process. I always loosely cover my trays to increase humidity and then place under a grow light. Here's how the sprout looks after 2 weeks, and then on week 4, I cleaned off the roots and transferred to leca. This is my preferred indoor growing medium, but you can use whichever growing medium you feel comfortable with. I try to get the roots as clean as possible, and when growing tomatoes, it's okay to remove some of the lower growth to plant the stem deeper. The stem will develop additional roots where it's buried, making a stronger root system. When growing in leca, you'll want to keep the bottom third of the pot submerged and always have plant food in the water. Here it is 1 month later. We've got some flowers and even tomatoes developing. Ideally, I would have transferred this to a larger pot sooner, but I had to do a little shopping around and finally found the perfect pot for this plant. Cherry false tomatoes produce vines up to 18 inches long and are commonly grown in hanging baskets with the growth falling over the sides. I'm placing my pot on a shelf, and the built-in trellis will hopefully elevate the vines enough to where they can spill over the sides without flowing onto the shelf. Here it is 2 months later, so at this point the plant is 4 months old and everything is very well contained. It does take up a lot of horizontal space, so I keep it on the edge of my shelf so the growth can flow outward. These have a really good flavor, so if you have the space, I highly recommend growing these. Be sure to like and follow for more ideas of different foods you can grow indoors.